Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Capcom Podcast. I'm Cameron.
Seb, you're right next to him. Like, you gotta go. Like,
that
please.
doesn't mean I have to be the second one. I'm
so
Seb.
German.
I'm Justy.
Mr. Spanks.
Steady one.
And I'm Miriam. Hi.
Yeah. Our special guest. Yay!
Yay!
How are you today?
We're very happy to have a special guest today.
Yeah, no, it's good to be here.
Yeah.
I had such a blast last time, and we just on our socials released the trailer for our film festival, Nightmare in the Ozarks, literally right before I jumped on this call. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Where can people find that?
On Instagram, Nightmare in the Ozarks, I think, or maybe the handle's called Ozark Nightmare to double check. But yeah, just went up like 20 minutes ago, something like that.
Lillian asks, why is everyone in such a good mood?
It's the fireball.
Fireball.
It's Jack's fireball. Also, like, deprived. So I think that somehow turns itself into.
It's also October, like the best month.
It is.
Fantastic. We just had amazing, exciting technical difficulties. So getting things up and running is exciting.
So optimistic. So amazing, exciting technical difficulties.
Well, you gotta feel the lows to really feel the highs, and here we are at our high.
Of course, the hero's journey.
Yes.
100%.
Now, Justin.
Well, now that we come to introductions, this is Tony.
Oh, jeez.
Cameron's imaginary friend.
Oh, no.
Talking about imaginary friends called Tony.
No.
Today's
week done. I'm gone.
film.
Nope, we're done. We're done.
The
Wait,
Shining.
Tony, can you tell us what we're watching and what it's about? Go ahead.
And well, talking about people that are here in our minds but not visible, there's Cameron. Justin.
Cameron's
Now-
not about bits, he's just not his vibe.
This might not be as much of a bit as you think because I might be stuck down here. So that might. Hi, I'm here for the rest of the episode.
Like so your back just go, or like.
This is how we live now. You will be the hunter. I will
The
gather.
episode, I wanted to say to Cameron, like, how I want to be Cameron this episode. So, like, hi, I'm Cameron this episode.
We truly did that bit for Freakier Friday. It truly wasn't great. So
You never did that bit.
No, that was a good bit. That was a good bit. The two of us switched with two other people. It wasn't confusing at all.
Yeah, no,
We
like,
tried
you're
to
under the
embody each
table.
other's personalities, and I did a really good job.
Now, Justin, would you like to tell us a little bit about The Shining?
Oh gosh, I'm sure I must be
Me?
one of, if not the only person here who had previously seen The Shining. Horror's not my usual space, but I'm excited for it's October. It's October. You're making a face. You're making a face. Am I being judged? Tell me more. What's up?
No. It's nice to have a first timer. That's all.
Oh, it's not. I can tell that your scowl is. This is good. I'm really glad there's a first timer here.
Can I please do the introduction this time? I
that's why I said earlier I wanted you / Tony to be giving the introduction.
Yes, please. Well, then I'll let Tony do the introduction.
Oh my God.
So, let's be serious.
You need to do a voice.
yeah, no. If you're gonna do it, you gotta actually like commit to the bit.
Hi, I'm Tony.
Also, no one can see it because
it's just
it's
you,
covered by the
Swab.
Hi, I'm Tony. Well, The Shining is a wonderful 3-episode miniseries done by Stephen King, produced in 1997, and it shows the wonderful true to the book adaptation of the book he wrote himself.
We're not. No.
Justin just checked out.
Wait, did you guys see another version of The Shining than the one made by the author himself? True to his book?
I totally freaked out thinking I watched the wrong thing for half a second. But I think that's part of the
Cameron and I watched it. It's a very good piece of movie.
It's okay. It's also not a movie. It's a miniseries, which is different.
Yeah, but it's a 3-hour movie if you watch it as a whole.
Sure.
We're
But yeah,
here to
no.
discuss the 1980 Stanley Kubrick classic.
Please, why get something from the 80s if you can get something from 1997? Hi, I'm Seb.
What is happening?
I feel saying that to Jack.
Yes.
What a line. What a
We have
Chelsea,
the
please take
opportunity.
over.
We are live right now, but we're we have the power of editing for the future. We can restart right now if we want to.
It's not too late.
Just cut it in post.
With
Cut the whole-
Seb, you in fact confused Lillian. If she it's the wrong
okay. Anyway,
Wait,
our
tell
sweet,
me
sweet
you watched-
Lillian. I just
We-
want to give a big shout out to Lillian because she's just the absolute homie.
yeah, let's fucking go. So
Whoop, whoop.
The Shining is the film we watched for our October spectacular. When does this episode actually come to YouTube? Is it late October or early
It's the
November?
Halloween spectacular.
Oh wow.
It is.
No
yeah.
pressure.
I think it's a bonus. I think it's a bonus episode, isn't it? Or is it just
No,
a
it's,
Halloween?
it's our normal episode that's gonna air 3 weeks from now. So yeah, late October. There we go. Anyway,
Cool.
so The Shining is about our little friend Jack and his family. Jack is given this wonderful opportunity to live out far out in the Rockies in a mountainy, snowy area, watching over this hotel for a stretch of few months, in complete isolation, with his family. He is told ahead of time that this hotel had an incident pretty recently. In general, has a very long history, and some creepy stuff starts going on. And it sounds like the previous guy that was there had experienced a little, as we say, cabin fever. But maybe went a little loopy, maybe murdered a few people who were his family, not pretty. But Jack, he insists that he loves the isolation. He just wants to write a little book. He's gonna have a lovely little time. His family's gonna love it. Everyone insists we want isolation. But can he handle it? Can he handle it for more than 5 minutes? Maybe not.
Guess we're here to find out.
Things get a little
I
crazy.
feel like you fully skipped over Danny's whole plot though
Well, we'll
You
get to it.
with that.
Well, okay. Well, we do we want Tony to explain Danny's plot? Go on.
No.
I guess not.
Good choice.
What a very fun element to this movie
Yeah.
that we can get into.
So, I can go. I can talk.
I think
about,
there's a little lag there, so go on, Cameron.
So while all this is happening with Jack, hey Jack, how's it going? His son Danny has what we can only describe as some supernatural powers, where he is talking with his little friend Tony, and trying to figure out what those powers are and how to use them properly, where he might also meet other people with that same exact power known as the Shining. Oh, that's
the name of the movie.
No.
What? I appreciate you saying that he might meet people with these. Like we'll lead the viewer on a little journey here. Also, there might be explosions and clowns and rainbows. Maybe not.
There might be. Only after the spoiler zone will we.
So
be able
now
to
I
talk about
think since we have a guest here, she should probably get first thoughts, right?
First dibs on
For a
Love it,
spoiler-
love it.
tough
Miriam,
game of
Miriam, a
opinions.
spoiler-free first
Yeah,
thoughts.
so yeah, well,
Okay.
we will go through, give our just initial thoughts and feelings about the movie, then we put up like a little spoiler warning, and then we go all in.
Okay.
Initial
So
thoughts.
I think my initial thought is that I find Jack very relatable.
Yes.
I think he deals with a lot of struggles that we deal with, like having to work and make money and survive, and
Good stuff.
sort of being stuck in a situation where we have our responsibilities, and they're not fun, and it's not working the way we want it to. And so we're taking some sort of opportunities in the hopes that a change of pace will make things better, but they don't necessarily. Maybe, I don't know. Spoiler free zone for now. And I think generally the whole story is very much about the fact that, or the statement that we internally carry evil in us, and anger and rage, and it's not about whether it exists in us or not, it's whether we can control it or not. So it's a very relatable story if you look at it from that perspective, especially considering Jack is technically the villain or the antagonist of the story, and so we're watching everything through the antagonist's perspective rather than the hero's perspective. But generally, I think it's very much, just the fact that we have it in us and we need to learn how to cope with it, or recognize the red flags in ourselves and in the people that we love and around us. So I think that's a short version of my thoughts on everything.
I like it. I like it a lot. So this film kind of touches on a couple of key themes. Theme one, as we've kind of Justin so aptly put it, is this isolation, and how isolation can make you dependent on people, and isolation can make you crazy, and it's kind of how you deal with that. You have Jack who deals with his isolation one way, and then you have Wendy, poor sweet Wendy, who has to deal with isolation another way. She's basically cut off from the world, and it's how do you deal with that situation, especially when the people around you are deteriorating. There's also, they touch on this like cycle of abuse. They talk about Jack. Oh, is that a spoiler? No.
Just roll with it. Let's just roll with it.
There's abuse and a cycle of abuse, and that carries from the old caretaker to maybe now the new caretaker, and how this cycle of abuse repeats itself. And is it the building that's causing this cycle of abuse? We're not sure. We don't know.
Ooh. So, show of hands here. Am I the only one who's only first seen this this morning, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's probably.
I think you might be. Yeah. But it's okay, because I love hearing the perspective of people who watch classics for the first time as adults, effectively, and also decades later, because it kind of shows why these films hold up.
Yeah, I had a delightful time. I will say, like, cultural osmosis, I did get, the gist of the movie already, but it's not always about the what happens, it's the how it comes about. I was introduced to this in a sense, when I was like 5 years old through The Simpsons. So, and they went through all the important beats, right? Homer, difference, he had to stop. He couldn't drink any beer or anything. So, well, actually, that's similar here. So, but that was the shinning. They didn't want to get sued, and they make a joke about that in that whole segment. But no, I had a delightful time with this. I'm not usually a horror-y person, but I like the slow, creepy building kind of story, as opposed to the jump scare kind of thing.
Yeah.
It didn't revel in it in the fear. Well, not in the violence-y aspects. Like it felt very much like a character study that just happened to be scary and intense, and that's more my speed anyway. I had a delightful time with this. I
agree, Justin. I'm more of a like.
I kind of hate him. I just don't. I just want him to. He could be all murdery and stuff. Just be nicer to his wife. He didn't even thank her for breakfast or anything. I just wasn't vibing with.
If only you'd have thanked her for breakfast, that would completely change your movie experience. We should send that in the mail.
I am very much like. I'm very much with like Justin on like I'm not a big like very like strong jump scare. I love a more like psychological thriller like this one. I do have to say the first part of this movie does come on as very expositionally, which is like the only true gripe I have with this film. Is like that first tour through the hotel. I'm like, oh, this goes through and it goes through. I'm like, okay, I see this is
But
the
it's also a
kitchen.
tone
And like once you
setter.
get towards the
I
end,
really
it's like,
liked
oh, I get it.
it.
Okay, you wanted to show me every. You want to show me the end. You want to show me every single piece as it comes through. And then also, of course, there is the inherent misogyny of, okay, Wendy, I'll show you the kitchen while we take Jack to the. Which I was like, okay, that's fascinating, cool. I forgot this is an '80s film. Good to know. And then kind of just petered out.
When we watched the other version earlier, the one that you should all give a try. I'll send the link into the WhatsApp group. There's a sentence in the beginning where Jack goes to the hotel for like a talk to the main guy, and he's like, yeah, I wouldn't hire you because you're a drunk, but well, we live in these woke times, so the others decided to hire you over my head. And it was like, okay, statement.
Yeah.
Stop talking about the other movie, Seb. I swear to God.
I will say though,
I'll
now that
send
we're
you the link,
talking
it's
about
fun. It's the funny
the
thing
other
about it.
source material,
Yeah.
the book and the 1980 film do one particular thing very differently. The book shows Jack as a more conflicted personality. So we see the bad, but we also see the good, and he's struggling with both. The 1980 film does it very differently by making him a jerk from the beginning. And it's sort of, it knows, and this is also about like the speed and like the exposition at the beginning. I think it's linked to this. It knows it has to show this person's descent into madness within just a couple of hours, which if you did it from like a realistic perspective would be a lot harder to do, but the film's very fantastical. So I think it sort of speed runs a lot of the things that we usually, if we compared it to realism, would want to be more fleshed out, and therefore it jumps straight into the fantastical elements, so we can just watch this guy go crazy with all these supernatural occurrences and fully accept that, because we're not measuring it by realistic standards. So the film definitely does that differently from the book or the original source material, but it is, in my opinion, intentional. I think they knew what they were doing when they made that decision.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that it does different than the book is it in the book it very much paints the Overlook as like a haunted house, and the Overlook is like very much a paranormal haunted house that is making him crazy. Whereas in the 1980 movie, it's like, would Jack have gone crazy in another building in isolation? Like maybe he's just prone to go crazy. I mean, the building obviously plays a part, but in the book they really make it clear that this building is making the man sick.
Yeah, and I do wonder though, because Jack, you were talking about isolation, and I don't know if this is a going theory, but sometimes I wonder if the idea of isolation in this house is sort of a metaphor for when a family is dealing with issues at home and you feel like you're on your own with them. So they happen to be in this big, hotel, but really when you have sort of domestic violence or abuse at home or depression or whatever, you're so tight as a family unit, and you don't really carry it outwards because it's damaging for your reputation, your status, or you're embarrassed or whatever, or you don't want to face your own demons. So you can feel in a family like that very isolated. So even though we are looking at a manifestation almost, the hotel is real in the film, is it just symbolic? I don't know. It kind of feels a little bit like that, but
Yeah, no, I buy that.
I think we're well past initial thoughts, so if we want to put the spoiler thing in, we could just say what we want about it. little
I would
thoughts.
add one more point to this, which is one of the more fascinating points about the lore of this film specifically, which is that Stephen King hated it. It's the only adaptation of one of his stories that he hates. And for its being such, I would say, like a cult classic film, like there are other films of his that were super, super successful as far as like box office hits wise. I mean, even from a miniseries and TV standpoint, it of course was huge. There's a new prequel series coming out at the end of October, or the time of this being released would have just come out. You have Shawshank, I believe, is also a Stephen King novel. Also a super successful. Was it Shawshank or was it Green Mile? I'm sorry. Or was it both?
I was gonna say Shawshank is not Stephen King.
You know that there's the.
It is a Stephen King story.
Sequel anyway, but like.
Yeah, the novel's by Stephen King. The screenplay was written by Frank Darabont.
Yeah. I'm talking about just like novels written by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them were so successful.
Movies.
Yeah. A lot of them were super successful. And this one, reception originally was kind of mixed, but then became more successful as time went on.
People didn't like Shelley
not
Duvall's
like some Razzie Awards, which I was like super surprised about. So I think that's a really interesting segment to maybe.
Yeah. People didn't like Shelley Duvall's acting in the movie. I thought she did a fantastic.
I love her.
Oh yeah, we love Shelley.
Shelley's the GOAT. I can't believe people. But I guess when the film originally came out, people had a problem with her acting in the film, and then I guess people kind of pumped the brakes on that when they found out that Kubrick might not have been so nice to her on set. So they eased up on her a little bit. But I thought she did fantastic, and she wears one of the coolest things in any movie. That yellow jacket that she has with like the cool stuff on it is so sick. And also another shout out to the wardrobe in this film. Danny has the Apollo like hand knitted sweater. I don't know if you'll remember it, but like it's got like the rocket on it. It says Apollo. Yeah. And when spoiler, when he goes into room 237, which is really the first time that the house manifests itself, like because the house essentially throughout the film draws power from Jack and Danny, right? Because Jack and Danny both have the shine. Jack suppresses his shine through alcoholism and trauma and things like that. Danny's just starting to come to realize that he has the shine. So the house is drawing off their spiritual energy this whole time. And really the first time that the house is able to manifest itself into physical manifestation, other than just talking to Jack through mirrors, is when the tennis ball rolls down the hallway. And it's like a physical tennis ball, and Danny's playing, and the tennis ball hits him in the knee, and then he walks into room 237, comes out all, battered and torn. Wendy thinks that Jack beat him again because he's done that before, which touches again on this cycle of abuse. And that was really the first time that the house was able to physically manifest itself to actually harm the characters, not just mentally but physically.
Speaking about actors being treated like shit on set, Stanley Kubrick, everybody.
A funny thing that I wanted to bring out earlier, but couldn't because we had the difficulties to fix here, is that I read into lore about the movie online, and there's a lot of funny things you can say about this movie. But apparently Tom Cruise mentioned in an interview while working on a later project that when not working, sometimes Kubrick would still edit The Shining even after its release, being like, yeah, well, the version that came out, I mean, there are multiple endings to the movies filmed anyway. Yeah. So but basically even after it was published, he still worked on it as he wasn't sure how to really do the movie. So basically we don't even know if what came out as the movie is what he intended in the first place.
Do we know some of those alternate endings?
Yeah, and the UK version that they released was different than the American version. He chopped a whole chunk of the movie out. I think 20 20
So what
something.
are the endings? Like, what are these alternate endings?
Well, I don't know about alternate endings, but I do know that he cut out that whole the scene that Cam was talking about earlier, the closing day scene where he gets the tour of the building before he ends up being the caretaker. He cuts like a bunch of that in the UK version because it was just kind of like Cam said, it was a little slow, and they cut a good bit of that. As far as alternate endings, I don't know. I liked the ending, and I wouldn't say it's ambiguous, but when Jack, you see him in the picture from 1927, and you're like, was he ever there at all? Was he absorbed by the house? Are all these people crazy?
Well, isn't it supposed to be like this loop of the damned or whatever? I think at some point Kubrick did say something about it in an interview.
The old caretaker, they call him Charles, and they call him Delbert Grady. They call him, it's that same cycle. He did it, and then Jack does it, and money's always moving in a circle.
And I'm seeing a lot of stuff online about an alternate ending involving, Wendy and Danny wake up in a hospital. Someone comes to inform them that there was no supernatural entities in the hotel or anything.
Gaslighting them.
Just absolutely gaslighting.
Yeah.
Oh no, your husband didn't go crazy. What do you never had a husband?
There's no son. It's your dog. And she turns around, it's a puppy or something. Yeah. Sorry, did you want to say something?
I'm just gonna throw out there that one of my favorite elements of the movie is that it kind of feels as though we have like the supernatural elements of the hotel and the supernatural elements of The Shining, and I'm like, at least on first watch, and I'm questioning it now, but at least on first watch, I'm seeing it being like, oh, it's really cool how like both of these things could kind of be their own movie, but it's like two clashing, fairly separate supernatural forces, and I thought that was really cool. But now I'm also really thinking, I'm like, or is everything The Shining? Is everything the hotel The Shining? Or is that a separate?
Well, I was sort of wondering, because just now we were saying that the first time the powers physically manifests is with the tennis ball, and I would argue that that's actually not definitive enough because there's a lot we don't see. I think the first time we can really say that there was something physical coming from the hotel, there's our drinking Jack, was when Jack is locked up in the freezer and someone opens the door for him. I think that's the first time we actually see the physical manifestation. Everything else, there's a lot happening off screen, and
like the strangling is like a unknown.
Like we don't know. Like maybe it was Jack, or so we don't actually know. And considering he's sort of derailing mentally, who knows? And something I wanted to talk about that was sort of like a key moment for me, now that we're also looking at spoilers, was at what point did Jack actually go full evil and give in to these urges, and it's sort of when we see him at the bar and he's talking about the fact that his wife won't let go of the fact that he accidentally injured his son in that particular moment, you can still very much hear the guilt. So at that point, he doesn't actually want to hurt his family. It's sort of the rage, and very important, the trigger, which is alcohol in this case, sort of took over. I think everyone has a different trigger, and the film is not necessarily saying alcohol is bad. It's just saying everyone has a trigger, identify yours. And so when he then falls asleep and then he wakes up and he says, at the typewriter, and he says, I had this dream that I killed you both, and she's like, oh no, his wife Shelley Duvall, Wendy, oh no, everything's fine. So up to that point, he's still sort of struggling with the guilt, and then the whole bathtub situation happens, which is when I first saw the film, and I saw it the first time years ago. I was already an adult, but I saw it many years ago. I was like, this is a really weird moment, because it felt so out of place because it was so seductive, like a naked lady in the bathtub. I was like, what the hell is going on? And that is because it is the moment of seduction, right? And and after this whole thing happens, and he's like, oh, what the hell? That's sort of, I think, when he is so over the fact that he feels guilty, rather than facing his guilt and trying to be better, he would rather pretend it wasn't his fault. And that moment with the giving into seduction, that's sort of the turning point. After that, he no longer feels guilty about anything.
He's all
and
in.
he's all in and
Like
comfortable with it.
He tells his wife, "Oh, there was nothing in 237."
Yeah.
He knows damn well there was something in 237.
Yeah, exactly. And that,
yeah,
it's the moment he's in full denial over his responsibility and decides to, and I think it comes from a place of feeling bad that he hurt his son, but now it's all like, well, okay, well, I'm just gonna pretend nothing bad ever happens, this is my world and whatever. And that final, I think that twist, that's when he suddenly goes full horrible dad and husband.
He gave in to something, the seduction of something that seemed beautiful, but it was deeply ugly in execution.
Yeah.
And
a
funny thing about that,
how he allowed it to take over.
A funny thing about Jack in the film, he only ever sees like a manifestation of the house or a ghost or whatever you'll call it when there's a mirror in the room.
Oh.
But if you go back through the film, he will never see, like when he's at the bar, there's the reflective glass, like when he's staring at the bartender. When he's in the bathroom, there's a mirror in the bathroom. There's always a mirror in the room anytime he sees a ghost. And so effectively, he's talking to himself, right? Because it's a house. So you never really know if they're there or not, or if it's just him talking to himself. Because, well, actually, that's not. I was gonna. Wendy.
There's a freezer smells to them.
Towards the end, Wendy finally sees a manifestation of the house. Right at the end, before.
A few, yeah.
It's right at the end. She finally sees something.
Yeah, he sees the caretaker, right? The old caretaker, I believe it is.
Well, he sees the caretaker, but he's in the bathroom for that scene. So there's
no, but who did she see then?
She sees the pig and the
guy blowing the pig mask, blowing the guy on the bed.
True that, but then after that, she also sees someone.
They might have been other hotel guests that never checked out. We don't know.
That manifestation brought me out of nowhere because I truly was confused as to why I just saw that.
But to touch back on mirrors, to circle it back, and then so when Danny writes red rum can only be understood in a mirror. So
it's just alcohol. Otherwise, it's just alcohol. No big deal.
It's alcohol. No big deal. Alcohol doesn't kill people. People kill people.
With alcohol in their blood.
Jack, are you okay? You okay, buddy?
Yeah, like I said, the birds play at 1:00, so I'm just getting tuned up.
Yeah.
I got ribs smoking. I started ribs at 8:30.
Okay, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, they're gonna be fantastic. I got two ribs working low and slow out back. My buddy's gonna be over in about 15 minutes. I'm gonna have him probably take them off and get them out of the foil and maybe dust some.
Anyway,
applause for Jeffrey Spector. Everyone applause for Jeffrey.
Jeff, how are we doing? So, Jeff, we're talking about The Shining here. We're all having a very good time, and we'd be remiss not to mention Dick Halloran's character and his impact on Danny. So let's take that away from Germany. Seb, thoughts on Dick Halloran?
Who?
He might not have been in the
other guy that's The Shining.
Who?
The other
guy with The Shining.
I truly don't know if he's fucking with me or if he's just like
it's like good German humor again.
We're not sure.
Versions of this movie today.
Yeah, and Dick Halloran's in both of them.
I know, that's what making the joke.
I'm never doing this with you again. This is okay.
So what are your thoughts?
Enabled him by even watching the other version.
Can you
I didn't enable him. He just he sent me the link and put it on.
well, you put it on. I don't know how to treat your Apple TV. Jack, can you ask me the question again?
The relevance of the character.
Thoughts on Scatman Crothers and Dick Howard?
It's interesting.
I feel like it was a very shining performance.
Oh my god! I might leave.
I want to say something, even though we're talking about the cubic version. In the other one, what I found very
Shut up.
no, but I love to put parallels here because like in the other one,
you can only do a parallel if people understand the parallel. Otherwise, it
I
makes
feel
no
like
sense.
Miriam does because she has seen them both. At least she talks about it.
Yeah. It's
Have
been a
you?
while, but yes.
This is my own fault.
The parallels are cool though. It's good to have at least one person talk about them because there's a difference between the original intent and then the 1980 version. Just say it in a way that people who haven't seen it still understand.
Yes.
Well, so in the 1980s version, I feel like there's it's very obscure, and in the 1997 version, there's the element that everyone, like at least the parents, know about, like Danny's powers of sorts from the get-go. And when they arrive at the spot, the cook takes him outside, sit on the swing set, and it's like, hey, you've got that like he even quotes the Beatles song that the title of the movie is based on. Like this shining on thing, and then like, yeah, I call it the shining, blah blah blah. Like he literally talks about the power to him at the beginning, was like, be careful, it's not real, just close your eyes, count to 10, and then it's gone, it can't hurt you for real. And like he makes it visible that he has the powers, and he also goes like, yeah, if you ever need me, like call out my name and I'm coming. And then he's like somewhere in Miami or something, sitting in a cafe, and the boy calls out for him, and he like nearly gets a stroke, like, and spills his coffee.
Yeah, but I think the original film still makes it clear that he has the shining.
Yeah, but like I find it funny
They
that
talk about it. If you talk about it, him and Danny talk about it.
Yeah, of course they talk about it, but I feel like it's funny because like it's less of like like no one like talks about it like that, like plain-sided, like.
No, but you can also tell that the 90s version like is a book adaptation, right?
And
like I have this thing when we talk about adaptations into films where it's like the film cannot 100% copy a book one-to-one. That's just not possible. The medium is different. You need to make differences in it. And personally, I feel the film does a very good job of creating that cross medium, like kind of going into a different medium and doing it well, which is, I think, one of the reasons why Stephen King didn't always love it, because I feel he doesn't feel that the adaptation was to his liking in essence. But I think that's why I'm always like so conflicted between like the whole like we're doing this very expositionally, taking you through the hotel, like that last day of the hotel, whereas the moments that we have between Danny and Dick, when a small scene talking about The Shining, I feel is so potent in its exposition that it doesn't feel like exposition as much. It just feels like a scene that's able to convey so much in so little time. And so that's why I get like so confused between those two like sets of expositional things.
Generally, I would say that the relevance of the character is an example of how important positive role models are in a young person's life. Because even though the kid has inherited the same thing that his father has, his father unfortunately failed to receive the tools that he needed in life to be able to handle it or even take advantage of it. And this kid can't look to his father to be a role model for this sort of, behavior or these skills effectively. But the role model can be someone from a very different place, geographically different place, life background different, and obviously his mom loves him, and Wendy would do anything to protect her son, but she still doesn't understand this particular struggle that her son is going through. And so the role model has to be someone else. And I think that sort of sets the precedent that when you look at kids from difficult or broken homes, sometimes their biological parents might fail them, but that is not a reason to give up on them. You can still add positivity or show support or give advice or simply just comfort to let them know that there are places in the world that are still safe for them, even if it may not be their home. And in doing so, we can have these kids grow up and still have a chance. Why is literally everybody a bad parent in this movie, says Lillian? I mean, okay, you know what? All right, let's talk
Wendy is
about
not a
Wendy.
bad parent.
No,
Don't
but no,
you
let's
dare.
talk
Don't you
about
dare
Wendy.
talk bad about
No,
about
this is
Wendy.
this is a good point to talk about Wendy, I think, because
Don't you
Wendy
dare.
loves her son unconditionally and to bits. However, she has also fallen victim to bad social patterns that she probably inherited from her childhood and her parents and her past, because every time Jack messes up, she finds excuses for his behavior. And instead of seeing the red flags and being like, you know, maybe it's time for me to confront him with this, or maybe even take my kid and go, she keeps finding excuses until it's too late. And that is something that unfortunately in abusive relationships happens a lot, because especially when you love someone, you know what it's like. The good times are great and the bad times are horrible. And it's that back and forth and that hope that things will be better that keep people in abusive relationships. And that is not her fault, but it is her responsibility. And by not recognizing those red flags and leaving, she is putting herself and her kid in danger, which in a way does make her a parent with shortcomings that can lead to serious consequences. But it's a very realistic depiction of someone who loves their spouse and really wants them to get better and finds excuses because they understand they're going through a tough time, but that's not enough. So I think that, again, with all the fantastical elements aside, it is a very realistic depiction of why someone stays in a relationship that is clearly not good for them. And unfortunately, it happens in real life, basically with the exact same dynamic.
Yeah, and she is in the unfortunate situation where it's one thing when you're in an abusive situation and you're in a community or you have family or this, that, and the other thing. It's another thing when you are stranded on a mountain in Colorado with no phones, the snowstorm, you're trapped, there's no communication to the outside world, so you're dependent upon this person that you've seen the best in them, right? And you want them to be great. And so you keep giving them the benefit of the doubt and doing this. But you're also, there's that little thing in the back of your mind that's like, I need this person to be okay, because I'm in such a vulnerable situation where if he goes off the rocker, it's just me and him and Danny, and I need him to be okay. So yes, there was abuse before, and that was probably her time to get out, because the second they went up that mountain
It
and
just got worse.
they were cut off from the world, her only choice, because she couldn't leave, she tried to leave and she couldn't leave, so her only choice was to hope that he got better.
Yeah, that was already the point of no return, because effectively we're thrown into the story as it's already going. And she has this conversation with another person, excusing the whole incident with Danny injuring his arm because Jack, just tugged too hard and he had something to drink or whatever. And there's already excuses there. So I don't believe the relationship was physically abusive before they went to the house, but it definitely was emotionally and psychologically abusive. So I mean, she should have just been like, "Oh, you want to go to this snowy mountain hotel? Bye." Like, it should have been something closer to that. But she wanted to support her husband and fix things.
Because that's the problem with abuse, is you always think that it's gonna get better.
Yeah,
he's going to be different and things are going to change. And the reality of the situation is people don't fucking change.
I mean, it depends, but I do think that he was more likely to change if she had left him than by staying with him. That is, if there was going to be hope, that would have been the one thing that had to happen. And again, to bring up the difference again between the film 1980 film and the book, in that whole thing with Jack being a jerk from the beginning versus not. In the film, even when they're in the car, he seems very distant and emotionally unavailable. He's already a jerk in the film, but in the story, it's more nuanced than that and a little more complicated, which you can do in a book because you have time. So yeah, sorry. Did you want to say something, Cam?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because he started.
Because I
think it's
started my sentence 5 times, and Jack every single time cuts me off. So
I think there's an issue of lag. That
there's a lag.
We start speaking and then we start hearing you.
Perfect.
I'm doing a conscious effort of talking less this podcast.
It's working really well.
I think it was. Justin, back me up.
I feel like we need another sort of
backed up.
I would say that like a lot of these points have kind of already come to light, but I think it's hard when you're in an abusive relationship to really see it come towards you until the train has kind of already left the station, right? Like it's kind of, because especially like at the beginning, some of this behavior can be so like excused into just innocent little things. And then, as things get worse and worse, you're kind of already stuck in this hole before you come out, right? And so I don't think that Wendy is a bad parent. I think she is someone that is a naive person, and that kind of she gets taken advantage of as a result. And I think, I think the true realization for her comes really late into this film, which is when she reads the screenplay that he's been writing. And
is it meant to be a screenplay?
I don't know. It is such weird, like,
the formatting goes back and forth in the paper.
The formatting,
he's not changing.
The formatting of that story, I don't know what that is. Is it a script? Is it a book? Who knows? Because it's both in this story.
He just wants to write.
But
doesn't
he
matter
just
what.
wants to write a working all day.
It's experimental.
Play makes Jack a dull boy. Yeah, it's experimental.
His wife is not a fan of experimental works.
So
I mean, she supports him. I doubt he'll get a contract.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
You know how important contracts are. His moral and ethical obligation.
Not to mention, this film was one of the first times they ever brought in Steadicam. Which is how you get those super cool tracking shots of Danny on the 3-wheeler going through the going through the hotel, and it's really how we explore the hotel really through, because Jack's always in his office kind of typing away, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. But Danny really explores the hotel, and that's kind of how we explore the hotel through Danny. And it is one of the first ever uses of the Steadicam, and that's how you get those super cool tracking shots.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
And that's how Danny finds the twins for the first time. Which
twins, we love
twins. I did not see this movie as an adult for the first time. So when I saw this movie for the first time, I was probably like 8 years old. And
very age appropriate.
I know my dad, man, I was watching so many movies I never should have watched, but doesn't matter. It's not important.
You turned out okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine. But the things that scare, because like we touched on it earlier, but the film doesn't get off on jump scares or gore. It gets off on this atmosphere, this building tension, this slow burn of this.
Lillian, that's just Jack here.
It's just me, Lillian.
It's not old, it's wise. We're so,
wise.
We're so mature.
Actually, like when I watch the movie now, I'm not scared, But when I was a kid, the twins scared the shit out of me. And
why they look so much alike?
That's the funny thing, because
why are they wearing the same dress?
The twins are also a reincarnation of the other guy's kids. And originally the kids would be sisters still, but like different ages. So another point where the reincarnations slightly change from the real deal.
Okay, Seb, I got a question for you. In the Real Deal, aka the miniseries, do they
No,
do they
I'm
call-
talking about the Kubrick one.
Oh, okay, I was just making sure.
You're
So in
crazy
the
about
other
that.
one,
Yeah,
do they
are
call
also
him Charles or Delbert?
as the kids from the caretaker, and there are two versions of
Charles,
the caretaker.
Charles Grady. Charles Grady.
Yeah, and we never see the second version of the kids, but the old guy mentions that he has two daughters
Two
or something,
daughters.
and they're different ages, but they're sisters, but they aren't twins. So the twins are the reincarnation of the old ones, basically, that are
Interesting.
different age.
And they might not actually be twins. I mean, they look. Maybe the actresses were, but they do look slightly different, and
Yeah, but
depending
like
on how close they were in
same age,
age.
definitely.
Yeah, I
Similar
mean, the
age,
actresses
there's a big
definitely
difference.
were, but we don't know if the characters were. I mean, they're both dead, so.
They just wanted to play. I don't see what the big deal is. Well,
I play with them. Let's be honest.
Oh,
Probably
also,
grow better
I
than we
do that.
do.
Miriam, while I have you, and because you're essentially the,
the icon.
I'm gonna call the horror icon. What is your favorite? What is your favorite horror film of the year?
Of the
This-
year.
Oh,
Oh.
no!
Oh,
Oh,
not this
Cameron versus
conversation
Jack. Cameron
again.
versus Jack. Go on.
Oh my god, it depends, but I generally thought the one that stood out to me that I'll probably be thinking about a while is Bring Her Back.
Okay.
For reasons I don't know. Are we going to talk about a different film now? Is that what's happening?
No,
I
we're
don't
not.
know.
We're-
I'm concerned.
I mean,
I
since
think
you
Jack just wants to be validated on his own opinions because
No,
he
no,
I
usually
don't
argues
validate
this
anything.
topic with
You guys
with
don't know
Cameron.
anything about me, and this is crazy.
I feel attacked. I have another shot.
You guys
Um,
don't know
To which
anything
Jack
about
would
me.
say,
What was your favorite movie of the,
how
of
about
the
you,
horror
Jack
movie of
and
the year?
Cameron,
No,
give their
So
favorites?
I'm not going to talk about my favorite horror film of the year, but what I will talk about, because I'm tying it back into this film, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Smooth.
just
Smooth.
a
You've
quick-
done so well.
just
So
a quick
I
question
just saw
because
the
I'm
Strangers. I just saw the Strangers Part 2, and in that film, you know what they do? Axe through the door.
Okay.
And something that The Shining will forever hold its legacy, maybe more than anything else, is that iconic axe through the door scene. Because 2 horror films this year have used that scene.
Mm.
I'm sure there's at least one every year that uses an axe through that door scene, and then someone looking through. And
It's a pretty common. It's become a common-esque trope, or not super common, but I feel like a well-known enough trope.
I've
where
seen
it's
it
like,
twice this year.
How
And
many people own axes?
it's just one of those things where,
A lot
and
of
it's
people
the
have axes.
lasting impact that this film has on the genre.
Yeah,
Is-
definitely.
It's a common homage that you see.
And it also, I feel like it also depends on the culture because, like, doors in the States are a lot thinner than doors in Germany, for example. So if you were to try to axe a door here, it would take you significantly longer. And something I also learned in the true crime spaces, you can tell how experienced someone is with murdering with an axe, depending on how they do it, because someone who isn't experienced will go blade first, and that gets stuck in the body and it makes it harder to pull back, but you're supposed to take the blunt side first because that will cause equal damage, but it won't get stuck. So it's also a little axe
That's
murder fun
Right.
fact.
Whoa,
Write that down, write that
axe
down.
murder fun fact. Yeah, we love
Axe murder fun fact.
the question for Blade or Blunt is if you want to behead them, because that wouldn't work with the blunt side. If you just want to smash them, then yeah, sure, blunt side
Or
works.
kill them. Yeah.
If they're already dead, you definitely need the sharp side because like chopping up.
Lillian's
doesn't
like,
work
how do
with
you
the
know
blunt
all
side.
that? It's because we're old, Lillian. You learn
I-
these things when you live long enough.
I will also say. I will
Lillian
also
You live
say.
long enough to kill.
I
I would
would
also
also give another
say,
shout out to Lillian because she's
Die a hero or live long enough
as
to become
as
a villain.
people who write stories, Justin, I feel like you might have a similar thing. I don't think anyone wants to know our internet search history for the random things we researched for film purposes.
I'm very I'm
Like-
so wary of that. I know there wouldn't be any realistic point in time in which someone's like at my computer, like looking at my search history, but I'm still thinking about that. I'm like, how can I
I
word
don't
this in
want to
the
know
least
Jack's
weird
search
way
history that
possible?
wasn't
Yeah,
related
tell us.
to film
There's
research.
a moment there's a moment for a script that I'm writing with a buddy with my friend Logan actually, and there
the topic of bleach as far as decomposing a body came up, and he says he's definitely he's on some sort of FBI watch list for like the lengthy search that he did as far as like how bleach would react to a human body and if it would actually decompose and what you would need in order to do so, and like if it would like stay in a tub, and it's like all this stuff. Like that's just like what you do as like a filmmaker. Like you just when you're writing up stories.
Why doesn't he go to the
research
public library to research his stuff like the rest of us do?
All right, so I'm
might
getting
take a little bit longer.
fellas, I'm getting yelled at from downstairs. So it's time to
Get those
rate
ribs.
that movie. And you guys can have final thoughts after, but I'm going to have to rate and leave, unfortunately. So I'll just go ahead and go first. Let's be real. It's a 9 out of 10. I mean,
I'm glad we're being real about it.
let's be real. It's a 9 out of 10.
Our
Big, like
objective
you usually
It's a
are.
lot of 9 out of 10s. It's very much 9 out of 10. It's a horror movie that doesn't need jump scares. It doesn't need gore. It has this atmosphere. It has maybe not the character development that Miriam would like because he's always an asshole to begin with. But Jack's sent into madness and just there's just so much about this film I like. And I like there's a lot of imagery. Like the carpets are the design is so cool. And like we said, the tracking shots down the hallway. I saw it when I was a little kid, so I was scared as shit. And you still have to judge it off that. So it's going to be a 9 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
I will come in and agree with Jack 100%.
Whoa.
True, Kubrick shows that he's a true master of the suspense genre in this film. I mean, you got to give some love to the Steadicam for this. You got to give a lot of love to both Jack Nicholson, but also to the kid who plays Danny. I feel that the kid's acting in
His
this
name
film
is actually Danny, by the way. It's Danny Lloyd.
Is it
His
nice?
name is Dr. Sleep, I hear.
And Jack, so it's funny because Danny's
I was going to say, do we go into
Danny,
that?
and
as
Jack is Jack because it's Jack Nicholson plays Jack. Danny Lloyd plays Danny. So
I think the both of them really stand out in this film in their acting prowess, and like every single moment of this, like there's that small exposition part that I think is the only thing that I'm like, well, I don't know about that, but everything else in this film I feel is so well made with its pacing, and I have so much love for this film. It might be like become part, like I haven't watched in a really long time. It might become part of my like my yearly Halloween month like watch group of films to watch.
Deserves it.
Halloween.
It deserves
I think it
it.
really
I
does.
don't know if I can watch more than one scary movie per month, but all the power to you, you know?
It's October, Justin.
Bring Her Back might also be on my list, by the way, Miriam, because I haven't seen that yet. And
Well, it's on my list as well too because I haven't seen it, which is shocking.
When you watch it, let's have a conversation.
it's on HBO, I believe. I think I just saw it on
Yeah.
HBO.
I've heard good things. Didn't make it there at theaters, but
Oh,
Seth,
Jack,
why don't you
you
go
need
next?
a nap.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I haven't slept. I didn't. I'm sure that everybody knows I did not sleep for this because I wanted to feel the psychosis.
Oh, you're a method podcaster.
I have to put myself.
The most terrifying kinds of podcasts.
Don't ask about my wife and kid downstairs. They're not doing well.
It's because of the ghost.
Oh, jeez. Rate the movie.
Give it a 10. Give it a. Well, I would. If now, Tony. Well, you know, I would give it a 10, but I have to withdraw points for the unrealistic structuring of the hotel because if you watch the scene, there are dogs.
I have read the blueprints and they are inaccurate.
But if you watch the movie itself, the way that people walk into rooms, there are windows where there is a wall and a hallway on the back of that room that they just entered. The kid drives around the place, and then there are like lifts here while the other lifts are there, and they change floors in the same scene in one
Well, it's
shot
haunted.
sequence. And
I think
Yeah,
you're
but, like-
confusing the two movies. I think you're confusing the two.
no,
movies.
that's all Kubrick.
If there's a mistake, it's not in this one.
I can't do
I give it a 7.9 out of.
it. You're a coward and
Wow.
possibly a fraud. Justin, rate this fucking movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, my bad. I give it a 217 out of 10.
Can we pull up the Jeffrey Spector 1245 comment?
Which one? There's two.
Sorry, the top one. How could you rate less than a 10? You all pointed out how it influenced other films.
Jeff gets it. Jeff gets it. Jeff, a 9 for me is very strong.
Same though, honestly.
But I think Jeff went a little low, so I'll give it the 11.
Oh,
I
that's why we keep you around.
Also,
That's why we keep
Jeff,
you around,
Jeff,
Justin.
on that regard, just because it influences other films, because the Here's Johnny scene, like is a pop culture reference, doesn't mean that this movie deserves a 10 just because scenes of it are pop culture.
There's a lot that we discussed about the film. That's why it's a 10.
The Room is a 10.
Well, I mean, you
I would
needed
say that's some of the most
Jack,
thoughtful
Jack,
conversations
you
we've
needed-
had in a while.
Jack, you needed two tiny handles of Fireball, 3 shots of Jameson, and a beer to stand through this podcast. I don't know if this really makes a point of like
Jesus.
yeah,
Double fisting it, are we now?
double fisting Coors Light doesn't.
Guys,
prove the
I
point that
gotta-
This is a great movie that doesn't need like willpower to get through.
Miriam, why don't
It's
you
fantastic.
sign us
And
off?
Miriam, rate that movie so I can stop getting yelled at from downstairs.
I'm gonna tell you a super quick anecdote first.
Ooh.
A few years ago, I actually was watching some old home videos from when I was a kid. Bear in mind, I did some really creepy stuff as a kid without any external influence.
Yeah, bye.
And there was one
kid.
video of me from preschool standing in line next to all the other kids. I was at the end of the line, and everyone was singing this song. And for some reason, I had my finger up and I was just singing to my finger. And I swear to God, I was like 4 or 5. I had not seen the movie yet, but I showed some friends and I completely forgot that was on the video. And they were like, "Is that The Shining? What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. I was a weird kid." And the kid next to me was this boy, and his pants are up to his chest, and he was like sunshine personified. And I was like, meh, 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 to my own finger. So, yeah, I definitely can relate. So I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. So I want to get as close to the 10 as possible for all sorts of reasons. But I do think that there might be like a smidge between like the abuse of the actors behind the scenes and a whole bunch of stuff where I'm like, you know what? I got to squint a little bit. It's not quite the 10, but it is historical. It's a must watch for everyone. It's an amazing film. And as far as book adaptations go, which is really challenging, it does a great job and also reinvents some things, which I do think is sort of daring. I don't think book adaptations have to be exactly like the book. I think sometimes you can put your own mark on it and make it your own, which Kubrick did, and I respect that. So it is a very, very, very good film. And Jack is gone.
Bye, Jack. Well, I
Jack.
guess with that, guys.
Bada
Miriam,
boo,
do you want to
bada
plug
boo bee.
yourself
Yes.
to the lovely folks as far as the festival too? Since the date that we are uploading this is what did I say? When are we uploading this?
It's 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from tomorrow.
3 weeks, so the 26th.
Okay, so that'll be right after the festival because it's
Right
the
after the
22nd to the 25th.
We can post this on like socials before then and all that.
Yeah. We'll for sure market this nice little for the festival. But why don't you do this? Tell me how do you think the festival went?
It went amazingly. We are partnering, or we did partner at this point with Rue Morgue magazine this year, which is really cool. Last year we were featured in the New York Times, which is a big deal. And generally we are from horror fans for horror fans. So the films we show are not necessarily, what is commercial. It's what we want to see. So the Nightmare in the Ozarks Festival is just generally great. And if you couldn't make it this year, please come next year and book in advance. But generally, if you want to stay up to date, so I'm a cross-media horror producer. I do all things horror and across all forms of media, whether it's film, video game development, TV, If you want to see what I'm doing, follow me on Instagram at lady_Mariam_Michael. And yeah, like hit me up, talk to me about horror. It's cool. And unlike some other people in this chat, I watch like 2 or 3 movies a day because it's my job. So let's stay in touch.
I will let you know. I am scheduled to watch a movie almost every single night for the next
Cool.
week. And I need to put 2 more films into my schedule somewhere because our next recording is Tron, and I haven't seen the other 2 Tron films. I need to see.
Never.
No, I have never seen the original Tron and the new one,
Never?
so I need to watch them this week.
Aren't there 3?
The third one's coming out on Friday.
Oh, that's
which is
only
when-
the third one. Okay, I thought there was.
I saw the second one in theaters without any knowledge of the first one, and 13-year-old me thought it was.
Well,
but maybe some
if
hindsight
you-
will change it on.
Who will have known
rewatch.
already what our thoughts are because that episode's coming out
Yes.
before this one.
Well,
That'll be
I mean,
fun.
I hope you binge the Daft Punk soundtrack of the
I know the
last
Daft. I
movie.
love the
That-
Daft.
that
R.I.P.
would be fun,
Daft Punk.
Best
uh,
part of the movie, if you ask me, is the soundtrack.
But Miriam, thank you so much for coming back on. It was a pleasure last time we had you. It was a pleasure this time to have you. You are a resident horror expert, and we're
I'll
always
make it
excited.
horrible the 3rd time I come as a guest. I ruin
Ooh, lucky number
everything.
3. Yeah.
Yes, we'll have to pick a really obscure movie for the next one. I mean, we've
Let's
done
go.
some mainstream stuff now. I
Yes.
think the next one needs to be really left field and confusing.
The just make me regret it, like just scare the bejeebers out of me.
Okay,
And
okay, cool.
if I say, "How dare you do this?" then you point back to this and be like, "Past you
Well,
told me to do it." So.
In order to find the right title, you need to tell me what you love so I can find a film that threatens to take it away from you.
Something very.
I am so excited. Our next when we announce that episode. When it comes
I
live.
have one last question,
Oh.
Mariam.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on the new Nightmare on Elm Street?
Which one? The one that came out a few years ago, or like the
No, the
new
one
one?
that's supposed to come out now in the future.
I haven't seen it yet.
The trailers.
I avoid trailers until I watch the movie, so I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Do you feel like we need another one?
In my opinion, the franchise is born and dies with Robert Englund. So as long as he's involved, I think it's great. There's also an interesting, like he has a contract in terms of rights to the character. So whenever there's a depiction of Freddy that isn't Robert Englund, it has to be changed like a certain percentage because he owns the likeness rights to the original design. Or is contractually tied to them. So in my opinion, like even though you could do similar stories with new characters, if it's not Robert Englund, it's not a Nightmare on Elm Street. And if he is involved, then that's great. So I think it totally depends on his involvement.
Makes sense.
Well,
And to tie it back one more time to what we just watched, is Doctor Sleep that's the sequel to this in a sense.
Yeah.
Is that worth watching?
Yeah.
It is, but it's a very different movie, like a
Okay.
very different feel and more,
Mhm.
in my opinion, more fantasy than horror.
I might
Even
be
though
into
it's still in the
that
horror
then,
space.
okay. Might be
Um,
my vibe.
Yeah, it's probably more your vibe, to be honest with you. It's got some creepy elements, but the creepy elements are like, ooh, I see what you did there, and
Mhm.
not like, oh, that was terrifying. The Shining is way scarier than Doctor Sleep, but it's still a good experience.
Heck yeah. Well, I guess we'll keep that in mind too.
Well, with
But,
that, guys,
yeah.
thank you so much for watching. I
No
am Cameron.
regrets.
I was Seb.
I was Justy.
I still am Mariam. Hello.
Yeah, let's go. Mariam lives on forever. Let's go.
This is the Capcom Podcast. Thank you
Please
so much
no.
for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And now